Hi everyone, welcome to episode 54 of the XS Noize Music Podcast. Thanks for listening. I'm your host, my name is Mark Millar, and in this episode, my guest is music legend and national treasure, Shaun Ryder. Shaun joins me to talk about his new solo album, Visits from Future Technology. If you missed last week's episode, I was joined by Louisa Roach, also known as She Drew the Gun, to talk about her third album, Behave Myself. So check it out, and if you like the podcast, it would be amazing if you can subscribe and share with your friends. If you want up-to-date music news, album reviews and interviews, then check out our main website at xsnoize.com. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. Search for the tag at XS Noize Music. Here's XS Noize writer Daniel Lynch with a taste of what's been on the website this week.
I Am Alicia is the second album from the New York-based artist Alicia Walters. Randall Radich gives the album an 8 out of 10 review, saying its mix of retro and avant-garde art pop makes it a captivating listen, with Alicia's voice the highlight throughout. Christine and the Queens has released a new 2-track EP, including a cover of the George Michael hit Freedom. The songs are live performances from the Global Citizen Live event in September, which featured artists calling on governments and corporations to do more to defend the planet and people from poverty, climate change and famine. All proceeds from the EP release go towards the cause. And we're streaming the new video from Coldplay and Korean pop giants BTS. My Universe will be on Coldplay's new album, Music of the Spheres, and the video captures the two bands uniting for an intergalactic battle. Watch it now at xsnoize.com.
Shaun Ryder is the Mancunian powerhouse vocalist who for over 30 years has been leading the charge for the legendary Happy Mondays and Black Grape. In this interview we talk about his new solo album, Visits from Future Technology, live shows, his multiple books, and loads more. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the XS Noize Music Podcast with Shaun Ryder. So, hi, Shaun, welcome to the XS Noize Podcast.
Hi. Yeah, you got me signing fucking books today, about 2,000 of them.
Is that right? I suppose you sore hand?
I will do when I start on it.
But I first interviewed you in a hotel in Belfast in 2015. It was before a Black Grape show, and you told me you had a solo album coming out soon. It's now 2021, and the album Visits from Future Technology has finally been released.
It has, yeah. I mean, so in 2015, it'd be 5 years old then, you know. So I mean, that's a good thing. At least it's out there now. At least we got it out for McGee finally.
Yeah. Why did it take so long?
Basically, when I went into the jungle, I flew, it was like ready to go when I went into the jungle. When I came out with different management, they didn't want to put it out. They wanted me to carry on doing television and build up a profile with the kids. So, it then just got forgot about. And then we went and done a Black Grape album, so the Pop Voodoo album. So it just really... I mean, I know that we put out a 12-inch of electric scales, but it just got forgot about. And then in lockdown, it was McGee, because I was ending up doing a lot of work from home. And it was McGee who said, why don't you get your album out and give it a dusting over? So we did. Messed about with it, not too much. Recorded a couple of little vocals again. Then Sonny remastered it. And then it was ready to go. So it was like Alan who said, right, let's get it out.
About the album, you said, in my delusional ADHD brain, it's my Sgt. Pepper full of different flavoured songs.
Yeah. I mean, it's nothing like Sgt. Pepper. In fact, now when I think about it, it's probably more my White album, innit? Full of number 9s. But in my delusional ADHD brain, it is, my Sgt. Delusional Peppers.
Well, it is a great album, and as you mentioned, it's produced by Quincy Jones' grandson, Sonny Levine. How did you end up working with him?
Well, Sonny did the 2006 or 7, the Mondays album, Uncle Dysfunctional. Sonny ended up doing that. I mean, basically, he's Well, I was being managed then by Stuart Elliott Rashman, and Elliot used to manage Simply Red, and Sonny's dad, Stuart Levine, produced the Simply Red albums. I mean, Sonny's dad's an amazing producer. I mean, Stuart Levine's just done some of the best songs on the planet. And so it was Elliot who put me and Sonny together. I mean, and me and him just got on like an house on fire. And then when we finished doing the Mondays, I mean, what we had to do with that Mondays album as well was like, wait for like, other members of the band that was around to get out of the way. And then me and Sonny got what we wanted to do with that Mondays album. And then when we'd done that, me and him stayed in touch, became really good pals. And then so when it was time for, when I was going to make an album, the first person I asked was Sonny. So we came and did it. He came back to Manchester. We did a bit here in Manchester and then finished it all off at his gaff on Venice Beach in LA.
And you mentioned the Mondays album, Uncle Dysfunctional. It's just had a re-release as well and tidied up with, a bit of remastering.
Yeah. I mean, it was. I mentioned that to Alan. I mean, it's great when you mention things to McGee because you mention him to him, and the next thing it's done. So you can't fault McGee on anything like that.
Absolutely. When you go into the studio, do you go into the studio with fully formed lyrics, or do you need to be inspired by the beats in the studio?
Well, usually, I mean, I work. I mean, I really do work on beats, and the music. So, I mean, I write lyrics all the time. Anything that comes into my head, I just write it down. I used to have a teapot full of scraps of, paper and beer mats and toffee sweet paper wrappings that I'd wrote stuff on, and tried talking into my phone a bit, every time I got a lyric, but somehow that didn't work out. So I went back to just writing bits. But usually, so when I do go in the studio, I turn up with all this crap out of the teapot and have a look, is that any good? Is that any good? And sometimes I'll find something there, that's really that good. It can work with any sort of tune. Or other times I just start writing fresh.
My favourite track on the album is Pop Star's Daughters. I love the lyric, even though I've got 4 of my own. I'd advise you to leave well alone. Don't marry Pop Star's daughters. So how do your daughters perceive Shaun Ryder, the rock star?
My young ones, one, they don't, I'm not a rock star, I don't even claim to have ever, even that new book's out, rock star thing, I've never claimed to be a rock star. But, Dad, it's like with the younger ones, it's just Dad's job. They've been going to festivals and shows since the mother was carrying them in their arm and sucking on a tit, so they've grown up with that. And then they used to see me on telly. And so it's just Dad's job. My older girls, who the sort of original song was really wrote about, they was going through their sort of, late teens. And I wrote that for them as a bit of a piss take, because they was both sort of treating Dad's gaff as a party house. And now one of the, my other one, she's 30 now. So, and I've had that for the last, God knows how many years. When's that record coming out? When's that coming out? So now, now it's out. So I'm like, right, it took a while.
I suppose you can't really say anything about her using your house as a party house, really. Like,
well, I can. You've got to as a parent, haven't you? You know what I mean? You have got to. It's not do as I do; it's do as I say. So you got to. She's turned out all right. Like I say, she's 30 now, and my older girls are fine. Now I've just got to get the 12 and 13-year-old who are just starting to go through their rebellious phase. And they know all about Dad's past, and they know all about, everything. So, but luckily I've got a good wife who guides them.
I'd say recording albums is easier for you nowadays than what it was like during the madness of the Happy Mondays. So what's a typical day like in the studio for you now?
It's like when when we did the last album, really, was Pop Voodoo 2017. I mean, Kermit, write the same way now as we both did back in the day, which is like, we sort of sit facing each other like Alas Smith and Jones or whatever he was called and knock out ideas. I mean, and now it just sort of, it's centered around sort of wine and Guinness, where back in the day, it was any drug going, especially the ones that kept us going, the nasty Class A's. So, it's a lot easier now. We're all sort of grown up and responsible a bit. So, yeah.
And you can remember recording the albums now?
Well, I mean, the thing about my memory anyway, now I know that my bad memory that I've had since childhood is all part of my ADHD. I didn't learn at school because learning is remembering. And part of my condition is anything that's said to me in class, I'd walk out of class and by the time I got out the door, it had gone. And you either think you're stupid or bit mad or whatever, and now I understand that all the memory stuff is all part of me ADHD.
And how did you feel when that was diagnosed?
Oh, it was like a light going on. It really was. I mean, explain, because, you like I say, not learning my alphabet until I was 28, and wondering why I didn't get out of school. I mean, I only learned my alphabet at 28 because I sung it. Someone suggested singing it. So you always just think, am I fucking stupid? Well, I know I'm not stupid, but there must, what's wrong? Why I can't do that? Or, I can't remember, I could never get grips around punctuation, never remember what the things was, So, and then also my behaviour and getting classed as naughty and everything else. So, it really switches a light on and sort of goes, right, okay, now we know, there is an explanation.
But you were still able to write these amazing songs.
Yeah, I mean, all that's in your head. I mean, if you ever, I mean, now everybody writes like me. I mean, I've always wrote, I, C, U, B, for, you, C, me sort of thing. I've always wrote like text speak, so now everyone writes like that. So sort of society's come round to me.
You were the pioneer.
Yeah.
Recently, I read you've collaborated on tracks with Robbie Williams, Tricky, Noel Gallagher, and the late Lee Scratch Perry.
Yeah.
When will these tracks see the light of day, and what sort of sound are we talking about?
I have no idea. I mean, because they're all, it's like the one I did with Noel, that's just for a separate project, it's not part of his album or anything. So, I mean, I've no idea when that's going to come out. Like Tricky, I know Tricky's still in the studio in Berlin working on his album. So that one to do with Tricky's for his album, and I have no idea when that's going to come out. And the Lee Scratch Perry one, I've got absolutely no idea. And the Robbie Williams one, I've got no idea. So, I don't know.
How do you enjoy working with those kind of artists?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, it's just that simple now, I mean, somebody sends you something and you can do it, what you need to do at home in your living room or, I mean, it's like kids now, they're making quality albums, stood at a bus stop queuing up to go to school on the school bus, with a computer. So, it's just dead easy. Someone sends you, I mean, I like all those people. I mean, Lee Scratch Perry, Robert, Noel, Tricky, respect them all as artists. So it's great when you get asked to do something.
You're currently on tour with Kermit and Black Grape. So how are those shows going?
Well, the Manchester show went really well. That was the first one. We've done a couple of festivals beforehand, but it really kicks off now on Thursday. So I've got shows Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday, I think. So, but the Manchester one and the festival things have been great. I mean, it's the thing about Black Grape is it's still dead fresh. It's still, I mean, the Mondays, we've been back with this lineup now, the original lineup now. That's over 10 years, but so I mean, the Mondays are playing better than ever. They really are, but I do enjoy me stints out with Black Grape. It's dead fresh still.
And is there a new Black Grape album being recorded or coming out soon?
Yeah, there will be. Yeah, that's definitely on the cards. He's definitely doing another solo album, and we definitely doing another Black Grape album. And McGee's just sorting out the logistics and the deals with it now. So yeah.
Well, you've always said that you won't do a new Happy Mondays album until it's done the way you want it to be done. So what way is that?
Well, pretty much the same way as we did Pills and Frills, which is we go in, we just get a collection of beats and go and play to them, put a bass to it, put some guitar on it, and work really fast. I'm not into the old, which nobody has to work like they used to do now in the studio, and spending 10 days just getting the drum sound right, and stuff. So so I never say never on a Mondays album, but I can't see one coming in a foreseeable future.
But you're still going to be playing shows. You're on tour with James in November. So are you looking forward to going on to the road with the guys from James?
Well, I think Tim's a wanker, you know what I mean? So, but I'm sure it's going to be good. It's going to be, the tour's going to be great. Yeah. And I do respect his music, but, he's just a wanker.
Okay.
No, he's fucking wanker. Again. Great band, though. At the end of the day, he's a great songwriter. So as an artist, apart from his fucking dancing, but as an artist, as a songwriter, he's up there. But I personally think he's a wanker.
I like the band as well. They're very good. Well, hopefully that tour goes well.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It will. It should do. Yeah. I mean, basically, we did. It's because we did it in 1985 or 6, and it's 30 or 40 years ago or something since we did that original tour, or James and us and James and us. So, and that was a tour where Gary Whelan, their Gary Whelan drummer, walked out on the band. I'll never forget him stopping fucking drumming in the middle of the set, throwing his sticks and saying, "Fuck off, Tim, you cunt," right? And then walk off. And so we had to do the rest of the set without a drummer, So, and I've never blamed Gary Whelan for doing that. So you understand where he was coming from.
Brilliant. So what have you got?
Whelan, not Gavin. Gary Whelan. Gavin Whelan. Fucking Gary. Gavin Whelan, original drummer. Not seen him for a long time, but he was a good lad. Still is, I suppose.
And how are you and the rest of the guys from the Mondays getting on? What about Paul? Are you still fell out with Paul?
Our kid?
Yeah.
Well, we put it this way, we're not dead close. We've got an amicable working relationship. Let's just say that, But they are, like I say, the Mondays are better than ever now. They are playing better. I'm not just saying it, right? We're all compass mente. I keep saying, like, the sex and drugs has just gone. It's just a rock and roll, and it is, and we are better. Seeing a Monday show now is far better than it ever was when we was at our prime.
Yeah, well, I'll agree. I seen you in Belfast, and you were amazing.
Cheers.
So, Visits from Future Technology, the album title is obviously inspired by your love of aliens. Have you seen the series on at the minute on Sky, The Curse of Skinwalker Ranch?
I've not seen... Do you know what? I probably have seen the Skinwalker Ranch. I've seen a few specials about that anyway. So, and I've watched them all on Sky, so I probably have seen it. Yeah, definitely I've seen it.
Yeah, it's a mad place.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Certainly is a mad place. Yeah.
Would you go and stay there for a night?
Of course, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, that would be good to see.
If we'd have got another series, I mean, I wanted to, do another series of the UFO for History Channel. And if we'd have got another series on UFOs, I mean, I'd have definitely gone there.
I'm currently reading Shaun Ryder's book of Mumbo Jumbo. It's stories about you, as you know, fans, friends, and other musicians. That's obviously the book you were talking about signing today.
No, the other one. I've got the Shaun Ryder, How to Be a Rock and Roll, a rock star. Shaun Ryder's How to Be a Rock Star, which I've done that with the How to Be a Rock Star one. I've done with Luke Bainbridge, who did who worked with me on the autobiography and the UFO book and the lyric book. So yeah, it's another book with Luke about how to be a rock star. It's basically Peter Crouch did, a book, How to Be a Football Star or whatever. So, we've done How to Be a Rock Star, which is a real tongue-in-cheek sort of, thing. So, yeah, I've got 2 books that I've got to flog at the moment. I've just finished doing all the... I finished doing all the Mumbo Jumbo one signing, and then all the other ones have arrived. So I've got to do them. Yeah, all the Rockstar ones.
Well, Mumbo Jumbo is the one I'm currently reading, and I'm quite enjoying. So it's all about stories about you from fans, friends, and other musicians, as I said. What's the strangest story you've read about yourself from the book?
Do you know what? I've not even read it. I find sort of like, it's like I've just had to go in for the Rockstar book, right, and read it for the audio book, right? And I find reading really difficult because I can't concentrate because of my condition, and I can never get. So I've just gone through a fucking nightmare just speaking that book, and So basically, I've not read it. I know I've read bits of it, just to check out that. All right, because I know Peter Hook sent a load of stuff in, right? And I thought, fuck me, that's not going in. So I had to edit Hooky down, right? So I just read what I can. What
did Hoogie say?
Right. He tells his story about, which is a true story, but he's just got the person wrong. Every day, really, when we was back in the day, our kid, Gaz Whelan, Mark Day, Paul Davis, would be going to Tony Wilson and telling him, why is Bez getting the same as us? Why is Bez doing this? Bez shouldn't even be in the band, blah, right? And that happened. But Ucky's got me saying that, and I'm going, are you fucking mad? I brought Bez into the band. Not only that, right, I was the one that sorted out his money. I was the one that fucking got him cuts off, percentages of, you name it, I got it for him. Then when that had ended, I went on with Black Grape with him. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to be the one saying, get him out of the fucking band and this and that. I brought him in because, he's my mate, and one, he looked great on videos, and two, I had a partner in crime. So, what Ucky says was right, but he just got the wrong fucking person saying it. I mean, me and Bez, when the Mondays did finish, me and Bez went round to every one of them, right, trying to change their minds about splitting the band up, So, I just had to edit Ucky's stories out of it.
Everybody remembers things differently, don't they?
Yeah. Well, me and Bez do that all the time. We sat there when we're getting, talking and telling stories, and it's like, well, he remembers it one way, I remember it the other. I mean, so everyone's got their own, about, and everyone thinks their version's right.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. I remember the documentary you did years ago. But there's a scene, you and Bez in a car, and you're having an argument about who you supported at the Rock in Rio festival.
Oh yeah, and because it should have been George Michael.
Yeah. And
then we ended up having to stay a week longer and going and doing the show with Aha. And Bez has said somebody else, didn't he? Not Aha. Can't remember who.
Yeah, I think he says George Michael or something like that.
Well, it was supposed to be George.
Yeah.
But what happened was all our equipment went missing, right? So it wasn't there to do the show with George. But also, it was at exactly the same time when there was stuff in the press about Bez supposedly saying, homophobic remarks, which, bollocks. It was bollocks. But that was out in the press at the time. And it was funny, how our gear went missing on with George and, whatnot. So, yeah. So, but the good thing about that was we ended up spending an extra week in Rio, while they found us the bill to, found us which band to add us onto. So it was great. All worked out great.
Didn't you stay at Ronnie Bigg's house, or you went to a party at his house? Is that right?
Yeah, we went partying with Ronnie and Piers Morgan, and Piers Morgan set that up. So, yeah, me, the band, Ronnie Biggs, another guy who was actually Ronnie's gaffer, and Piers Morgan. Yeah, great day.
I'm sure that would love to have been at that party.
Piers always thinks that Bez spiked him with cocaine, but he didn't.
Now, there's people out there who don't know anything about your music but recognise you from the Jungle and Celebrity Gogglebox. I mean, you're now a bigger celebrity than ever.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
Well, I mean, the thing about that was the thing about doing those reality televisions is, there is no really shows anymore to promote you as a band, and especially at our age, so it really is, I mean, I saw when Bez did Big Brother and won it back in 2005 or 4 or something. I saw what that did. See, because back in 2004, reality TV was still a sort of a dirty word to artists, I mean, and then I started keeping my eye in America, and the next thing you got Snoop's got a show, and Rev Run got a show, and DMX has got a show, so it starts becoming more acceptable. And then when Bez went and did Big Brother, he came out of that, and he was the most famous Mancunian going, right? And he put his workload up, as well. And it was thought, well, you know what? Okay, so it must be good to do. So when I got offered the Jungle, I did it. I mean, and basically now, I mean, you do these shows and the youth watch it, and before the show's finished, they've downloaded your back catalogue, and then they turn up at your gigs or the festivals, So we've picked up just as many fans off doing that as we already had.
Yeah, you and Bez definitely should get your own show, definitely. I mean, I really enjoy watching you and Bez on Gogglebox, What's a typical day's filming like on that show? Do you have to sit and watch TV programs all day long?
Well, what it is, right, look, I mean, obviously we don't watch the full program, right? They're edited versions that you get to watch. But, I mean, and the short amount of time that you see us on there, but we can do up to 8 hours filming, really. I mean, you can start at 3 o'clock and, if they've not got any comedy, moments, we could still be filming from the afternoon till 11 o'clock at night, till they get what they want, funny statement or whatever, But I mean, me and him just at ourselves have a few drinks and, make our comments on the clips of the shows that we get. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm getting paid to watch telly, get pissed, and one of my favourite hobbies is shouting at the telly as well. So, and I get to do it with my best mate. So it's all right.
So, hi, is Bez? Do you still spend a lot of time together outside of work?
Well, because we're always working together and doing stuff together, I see him all the time. I mean, he lives in Wales, I'm in Salford, but we see each other most weeks. We're out doing jobs or whatever together and stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, and he looks after bees now.
Oh, he's had his bees for a while. I mean, yeah, he doesn't have as many bees as he used to have, but he's got his hives all over the place. I mean, he used to have some real, the most ferocious bees you could ever get. He kept them on the roof of the Arndale Centre in Manchester, and they escaped. And there was stinging people on Market Street. It was all over the Manchester Evening News, you know.
Not unlike the time you poisoned the pigeons.
Pigeons, yeah. You see, now as someone who's nearly 60, I wouldn't do that. But as an angry young man of 15, 16, you know, I had a thing about pigeons and, you know, trying to steal me Kentucky Fried Chicken off me, you know, sat on a bench in the centre of town. So, you know, I didn't think twice about killing them, but now I can't even squash a fly me now.
I read that you were hit pretty hard by COVID. Are you feeling all right now?
Yeah, I mean, the thing about the COVID thing was I ended up for a while with that long COVID, you know. I mean, there wasn't after I got rid of it, I thought I was all right, and then about 2 weeks go by, and then the next thing, boom, it's like somebody hit me in the face with a slam jammer, and I'm back in bed again with all like the symptoms. And then that had last just for a day, carry on, could be a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then boom, it hit me again. So for a while it was like that, but I haven't had an episode now for quite a while, so I think I must have got over the long COVID.
What do you think about people like Ian Brown, about his comments on social media about COVID and the government and some artists, you know, not wanting to play gigs that have to be tested before the show?
Yeah. I mean, there's Ian and who else is the Eric Clapton, and I mean that's just Ian, that's Eric Clapton. You know what I mean? I mean they can, you know, they're wacky, outspoken people, you know. So I mean, they got their opinions, but for me, you know what I mean? I mean, I'm for look. Whatever it takes to keep the fucking people on this planet safe. If we have to wear masks, we'll wear masks. If we talk wear them, you know, then we're told not to wear them. Well, I won't wear them. If we talk wear them again, I'll wear them. If we all have to have passports to go to the fucking pictures or go to a festival, then I'll get myself a passport. You know what I mean? It's not that fucking hard, really, is it? I'm not really thinking about, you know, are we being spied on by Big Brother? Is it all some sort of fucking twisted, you know, story, you know, twisted, what you call it, fucking conspiracy theory about, you know, vaccine being fucking having microfilm in it to make you fucking vote fucking Tory or whatever. I don't know. Sorry, bollocks. I'm not into any of that. Just look, if we need to get it done, get it done.
I enjoyed the show you did with Jason Manford, Stand Up and Deliver. I mean, you're used to being on stage with a band. You're naturally funny, but was it nerve-wracking being on stage by yourself trying to make people laugh? What
it was, if I could have gone up and just basically got up and started coming out with a load of fanny out of my mouth, I'd been able to do that, right? But what we had to do was we had to be scripted, right? Just for the sake of it had to be. You know, and it had to go, and I couldn't memorize that script. It was just impossible, especially with my condition. You know, it was just impossible for me to do that. So that fucked me up a lot. But you see, it wasn't as though it was nerve-wracking. The thing about me was, he's like I say, we had to have this script then, and the next thing, because I'm not going to remember that script. We've got all these big fucking things where if I'd have just been allowed just to go out and be me and use my words in my way, I might have stood a better chance. But at the end of the day, it was television and it looked funny and it was right. So, well, I wasn't dead nervy. I mean, it was just, like I say, I'm not, it wasn't done how I needed it to be done.
No, it was still good. Still a good show. And you were funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jason Manford's funny.
It's like when I've done, you know, when I've done bits of fucking movies and stuff, and you know, I've had fucking months to learn 3 lines on a script. You know what I mean? I just, I just couldn't get to grips with, especially because it wasn't wrote in the way that I speak and phrase things.
You've had an amazing career with many ups and downs. Looking back, what stands out the most and what keeps you going?
Keeps me going is, it's what I do. It's and I like doing it. And it's like why I don't have any hobbies, because my hobby is fucking about with music and, and making music and doing entertainment. So, that's it. That's what I do. I fucking did the Jeremy Kyle the other day. He's got his new radio show and whatever. He said to me, "Come on, Sammy, you only made that album for money." And he's like, "Really? You're going to fucking out? You might as well fucking, knock out £1 bags of weed to a fucking five-a-side team, make more money than you're going to do on fucking albums now." You know what I mean? Not me.
Absolutely. So what have you got lined up the rest of the day?
I've got to do these books. And then we're off tomorrow. We're off doing the Black Grape shows. Don't ask me where. I haven't got a fucking clue till I get there.
Well, you have to get back over to Belfast at some stage.
Oh, yeah, well, that's definitely on the cards anyway. That's definitely on the cards.
Happy days. Happy days. Well, I look forward to seeing you again then, Shaun.
Nice one.
All right. Take it easy, mate.
Ta-ra.
Bye-bye.
See ya.